Hi, everyone. My name is Jim Lal-Tabak. I'm a yoga teacher, energy healer, and health and wellness coach consultant. Welcome to this healing energy treatment. So some people are coming in unmuted, so I may end up, if I need to, yeah, there you go. At any rate, welcome. And today, I wanted to talk about the Lunar New Year. I've been hearing some different things about the year, and, and it's a real interesting thing because in Indian there's Indian Vastu, which compares to feng shui in China, and what that part of the system is talking about is the circadian rhythms and the natural cycles of life and the cycles of nature, which include planetary movements and the likes of, and kind of moves into astrology in a way as well. And then, so the point is that all these energies, because this is about energy healing that I like to focus on, but it's a broad um, topic. But all these outside, or you could think of them as outside, but they're really, is swimming in the soup of these energies, affect the planet and life that goes on here. And so the thing that's according to the lunar calendar in the Chinese system, we're entering something called the fire horse. And fire horse is the symbols are fire, which we talked about last week, which is drive, intellect, being motivated, breaking through barriers, and then the horse. The horse is this, especially a young stallion. This is the fire horse. Something that is motivated, that has drive, that is, in this case, a fiery horse. So you have this. If you think about a wild stallion and trying to break that is really losing battle for most of the time. So the thing is, we're entering this year is considered the fire horse year. So what that means in terms of some things is saying that there's going to be a lot of change and a lot of intellectual changes and you know and for example, it could be, we see it already happening, but technology, political, belief system, um, and perhaps unrest even. But those kind of things are happening, but they will be, in this case, with the fire attached, propelled, supported, not buffered by perhaps a quieter kind of environment. And the other thing I recently thought about was, well, this lunar New Year calendar is at least followed by, in Southeast Asia, by probably almost 2 billion people. So when you have that much focused belief, and I'm sure it's more than that, but when you have that much, it propels consciousness anyway. So So, and we're all interconnected. So now, so it's reached us right away. Today is the beginning of the Chinese New Year, and people are learning about it because we are all in this soup together. So it's good to know about, is what I'm saying. And I decided I would look back. Um, the last time it happens in a cycle every 60 years, and the fire horse, and that's 1966. And I just said, well, I asked the internet, what kind of events were happening at that time, and it turns out that it was during the Vietnam War, and they upped the the amount of troops. So they escalated the war, and that is part of this idea of this, a kind of an aggressive wild horse, that things are perhaps spinning out of control. And so it's not like, so what I was thinking was, buckle up and buckle up your seatbelts. We're going in for a wild next year, is according to the predictions. But the other part of it is we can do things that temper our this wildness for ourselves, and not get swept up in the the nature of this. So we can go along and not fight it, but we don't have to get, bulldozed. And doing that would be doing, I think, cooling, calming, grounding activities, thoughts, intentions, all calming the system. Because especially if you have a fiery nature, a strong intellect, motivation, where is that motivation directed? Make sure you're directing the motivation and the drive to something beneficial, and not just fighting against something else. Because if we fight against and put our sort of energy into that to fight against, we'll get swept into that event. If you think about it, you're fighting against a big river that's flowing. And what happens? You just get pulled into the river. So we don't want to put more or power into that direction. So what I'm trying to say is, pick your direction that you feel is peace, love, and go in that direction. If that's, I mean, if you want to fight, go for it. But just know you can get swept into the fire, kind of like how fire sucks energy into it, oxygen. And then it just gets more and that's kind of my idea with a lot of the movements right now for myself, is I'm not going to get caught in someone else's um, drive there, especially when they're in that fire horse uh, flow. I'm going to find my own fire horse direction. And and we can all do that. So I want to encourage you to think about that, as I'm just going to, and how you can buffer yourself. Buffer meaning find peaceful, calm, centered energy. So we'll encourage that now as we go into our treatment. And you can learn more about it. There's in the, I'll just mention this, in the Chinese zodiac, if you're interested at all. there every certain number of years, like everyone's born into a different, has a kind of a different animal, um, kind of you could think of almost like a power animal, but a Chinese animal that according to the year you're born, and whatever the qualities of that animal are going to be enhanced. Mine happens to be the rooster, and it said something about you're going to be uh, more visible, and under scrutiny, or something like that. And so, okay, uh, good to know. But I take everything with a grain of salt, so to speak. Um, and the point is I wanted to say was you can look it up and see for yourself. They have each year that people are born in, and then it gives you according the and if you're interested at all, just message me or um, and I can send you. I have a website link of where they actually break down according to your year how the fire horse is going to affect you. So I don't want to get into that now. I just want to go into the flow of um, go into the flow without being uh, with the intention of not being aggressive. Motivation, yes. Aggressive, not so interested in that. But I always think that it's good to go in without force and fighting. So, um, yeah, let's relax, ground yourself. It's very important to ground yourself. The the in the use of the words of the Tao Te Ching, the superior person is unaffected by the storms around them. And I'm just paraphrasing now, but that's the gist of it. They talk about superior, it's kind of a weird word, but someone who's um, got their stuff together is not affected by these outside forces. They're grounded in their own spirit and in a bigger picture than simply what's going on even in this planet solar system and the universe, even bigger than that. So and that's how we can go and live our own life instead of being uh, at the whim of the winds of the local, so to speak, issues. So back to the treatment, going to be about thinking and intention of calm, peace, cool. We need to not fight against, but just think about balancing our own systems so that we can um, calmly move forward into this new lunar year. So the interesting thing that I'm just getting right now is there's different layers and levels of consciousness that are affected by the real obvious ones are this fire horse. But then there's a good analogy is nanotechnology or nanoparticles that don't operate in the same with the same laws as Newtonian physics or even quantum physics. So they start to, the laws start breaking down at different levels of, of quantum particles. And that is that awareness, that when we slow down enough, when our consciousness expands and takes into account all these different experiences, we can start to operate at this other new level. So I'm going to link energetically, I'm linking quantum fields with our current state of awareness. Subatomic, just waves, particles, wave to waves, waves to particles. So this time can be a good time to be motivated to make changes in your life. So we can use some of that driving energy in a positive way. Especially if you feel like you've been frozen or stuck. You have new directions. Just being ready to follow a new direction, not being afraid of it. Knowing that whatever direction you decide to go in can always be adjusted. Keep your attention moving between your feet on the floor, your heart, and your head. You want to integrate those three main sources that we operate in: the earth, the middle area, and then what you could call heaven in Chinese, some Chinese ideas, or that this is earth or middle world, and the ground is the solid, stable force. And the top here is that creativity, that link to the higher sources of consciousness, ideas, creativity. When all these actions, all these qualities are in sync together, then we're not going to be as blown off track. So I'm going to spend a little quiet, silent time sending some healing frequencies to all of you that are listening, whether you're online in Facebook or uh, YouTube or on this Zoom call. So have an intention, if you will, to be receptive, to suspend any either disbelief or fears. Understand that the intentions are for the highest good, for healing. Good. So now we'll begin to wind down the treatment a little bit, just becoming a little more present, taking your hands in a prayer type position in front of your heart, but we're going to rub the hands together and create a little friction, a little energy, awareness here. You breathing nice and easy. Take your attention to the ground again for a moment, and to your hands, and then to the top of your head, back to your hands. Feel the warmth, and then pausing, slightly separate the hands. Then let them move in toward each other and away. Just a small increment. And then begin widening, just being, letting the hands relax. And again, widening out and being conscious of any sensation between the hands, almost like there's a little bit of, I don't know what it is, but it's not jello, but it's like this very faint, soft, squishy energy, something like that. Maybe you notice it, maybe you don't. But it takes practice sometimes to become aware of something like this. So just know that if you don't feel anything, it's not missing out that much, but you can practice. And we're going to take that, create like a little sphere, like a big ball, and then reach up, arms out, and reaching up, and like you're going to catch this expanded ball, and it fills with energy as you inhale. And then we compress it, bring it in front of the heart. We'll do 2 more of those. Inhaling up and exhale. You can imagine with your eyes closed, especially better to see in your mind's eye, golden light as you reach up, inhaling, filling that huge ball, and then you bring it down, it compresses, becomes very concentrated, and then take that concentration of energy, turn it toward your heart center, left over right, inhaling, bringing that energy into your heart region, and then let it permeate every cell in your body as you continue to breathe nice and easy. And also, just a reminder, we want to let this energy come into our system, but we don't want to keep it. We want it to flow. So we'll take that energy, imagine from your heart, emanating across your shoulders and out your arms, exhaling and releasing the energy into the universe. Coming back again, inhale and exhale, sending it out. One more time, inhale. This energy is consciousness and intelligent. And so we don't have to know, or you can have an intention, but it's going to go where it needs to be. It's a gift out into the universe. Coming back, hands in front of the heart, expressing gratitude. Well, I want to thank you all for coming, to viewing this, being with us today, tonight. And hope you have a wonderful weekend or week. Forgot, we're still at the beginning of the week. And I'll be here next week. So I usually, if you want to be on my Zoom invite and you're not, just let me know. But if you have this, if you're on here, then you should have the uh, my cell, and you should have that, be able to contact me if you're not getting a regular update. So also, if you're online, you can always direct message me, and I'll be happy to connect with you if you have any questions. And also, my website is bodymindmedicine.com. So thank you all for being here. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll keep on and have a great time. Thanks.